Welcome back to another adventure bike riding tip, and today we want to talk about getting up a hill. Okay, there's a couple of different things we want to pay attention to in today's riding tip. Number one is finding traction, number two is throttle and clutch control, and then number three is just your body position, right? We want to talk about standing up, holding on to the bike with your lower legs, where you have to put your upper body to make sure that you don't get a big bike like this stuck on the side of a hill. The most important thing when it comes to riding uphill is your body position, right? You want to make sure you're in the right spot on the bike in order to control, the overall power of the bike and the weight of the bike. So going up a hill, obviously you have the tendency to slide back on the bike, losing the front end of the bike. You want to make sure you bring your chest forward, you have your elbows bent in, and you keep yourself there, right? You support yourself, you hold yourself on the front of the bike so you don't slide off the back of it. Eventually, you want to be standing up, right? You have the most traction, you have the most control of the bike when you're standing up. So you want to make sure you're on the balls of your feet, you drop your heels a little bit, and really lock in your knees to get even and full pressure on the foot peg. The bike can find traction there, the bike can find control there, and then your chest is forward, right? You want to make sure, as a reference, so like the front of your helmet lines up with this part of your bike, right? So in this case, right behind the windshield, in front of the bars. That's depending on how tall you are, obviously that changes a little bit, but in general that's where you want to be to make sure that you keep control of the bike, you get some good traction down, and in case you lose some traction, you don't have to panic because you're not getting off the back of the bike. Now that you have your body position, you have control of the bike, we want to talk about throttle and clutch control, right? Obviously traction is a really important part when it comes to getting up a hill. So obviously you want to read the terrain, you want to kind of find the best spot to go up, and then it's important that you get on the gas nice and easy, right? Smooth throttle delivery. You don't want the rear end to just break loose and spin all over the place. Find some traction, and then when you have the traction, you can accelerate a little bit more. Adventure bikes have a lot of power, they have a lot of torque, so for most of the uphills you don't need to be wide open, right? You just need to make sure you find traction, smooth throttle delivery, and then depending on your preference, cover your clutch either with just the index finger or two fingers in case you have to feather the clutch a little bit. Halfway up the hill you might lose some traction, you might have to just feather the clutch a little bit to give the bike, just a little bit more of a pump to make it up to the top. So that play between smooth throttle delivery and a little bit of feathering the clutch if you need it will ensure that you make it to the top in a nice and smooth run. Another really important part is vision, right? You want to make sure that you look ahead to where you want to go. In a lot of our trainings, we see people, especially when they ride into technical terrain where they're not really confident, they're not sure if they're going to make it, and their vision goes from looking ahead to where they want to go to right in front of their bike. Especially when you're riding an uphill, you want to make sure that you don't just look right in front of your bike. You look up to the top to where you want to be, so you're able to read the terrain, you're able to see where the traction is, and you focus. The bike will go where your focus goes. So if you're focused to the top and you're doing all these things right, you have the right body position, you focus on your throttle control, you feather the clutch a little bit, and you focus to the top, the bike will get you there, no problem. This is it for this week's adventure bike riding tip. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. If you would like to come to San Diego to train with us, The link to the website and all the training dates is below. Every week we drop a new video, different riding tips, enduro, adventure bike. Thank you very much for watching.